The room is loud, until it isn't. A stuntman laughs, just once, sharp enough to cut the air. He says the word camera, like it's a verdict. Around them, cables hum. Lights burn. 40 people pause without meaning to. Bruce doesn't look up right away. He finishes drying his hands. Breath in, breath out. The comment hangs there, unclaimed. Someone shifts their weight. Someone else stops mid-sip. Bruce steps forward. Not fast, not slow. He doesn't argue. He doesn't smile. He meets the man's eyes and waits. The waiting does the work. The room leans in. A challenge has been named without being shouted. Pride stands on one side, restraint on the other. No music, no cutaway, just a moment that asks a question out loud. If the camera were gone, what would remain? The comment lands without warning. Not loud, not shouted, just clear enough to be heard by the wrong person. A laugh follows it, short, confident. The word camera hangs in the air like a verdict. For a beat, nothing happens. Cables hum, lights buzz. Someone adjusts a strap on a shoulder rig and then stops halfway through the motion. Bruce keeps his back turned. He dries his hands on a towel. Slow, deliberate. The towel folds once, then again. He places it down. Breath in, breath out. No rush. No glance toward the voice. Around him, work tries to continue and fails. A foot shifts. A clipboard lowers. The room senses a fault line opening and leans away from it. Bruce turns. Not sharply. Not as a response. Just enough to face the space where the sound came from. His eyes move, not searching, simply arriving. They meet the stuntman's. The man doesn't look away. He wasn't trying to provoke. He was stating a belief. Years of experience sit comfortably on his shoulders. He stands the way men stand when they trust what they know. Bruce takes a step closer. No words. The distance between them shortens. A camera operator lowers his lens without realizing it. Another man stops chewing. Bruce's face is calm, unreadable. No tension in his jaw. No heat in his eyes. The quiet stretches. It becomes heavy. The stuntman shifts his stance, squares himself. Pride does that on its own. Bruce stops. The space between them is measured now. Intentional. He looks at the man's hands, then back to his eyes. He waits. The waiting changes the room. What was a comment becomes a challenge without being named. What was confidence begins to harden into something else. Attention. A producer clears his throat and thinks better of it. Bruce nods once. Small. Acknowledging. Not agreeing. His voice, when it comes, is even. Soft enough that people lean forward to hear it. Turn them off. No explanation of what them means. No demand. Just a request spoken like a fact. He lifts his hand and gestures. Not at the man, but at the cameras. One finger. Then another. A pause. The gesture ends. For a moment, nothing moves. Then a switch clicks. A light dims. Another follows. The sound changes. The room exhales without realizing. It has been holding its breath. Bruce doesn't smile. He doesn't look back at the stuntman. He takes one more step forward and waits. The work resumes, but it doesn't sound the same. Someone calls for a mark to be reset. Tape peels off the floor, then sticks again in almost the same place. A light is angled a few degrees lower. A fan hums louder than before. The set looks unchanged, yet every movement carries a second meaning now. Eyes flick toward Bruce, then away. No one wants to be caught staring. Bruce returns to his position without comment. He rolls his shoulders once. Small circle. Loosens his neck. His breathing settles into a quiet rhythm. He does not rush to fill the silence he created. He lets it sit. The stuntman remains where he is. Arms relaxed but alert. Weight balanced. He watches Bruce closely now. Not to judge, but to measure. Action, someone says, too quickly. Bruce moves through the choreography at half speed. Slower than before. Controlled. Each motion stops cleanly, exactly where it should. A kick lifts and lowers without sound. A strike pauses inches from its mark. The camera follows easily now. No blur, no confusion, just clarity. Again, the director says. Bruce repeats it. Same pace, same control. He does not look at the monitors. He already knows what they show. The stuntman glances at the screen anyway, then back at Bruce. Something in his expression tightens. Not disbelief, not acceptance, suspended judgment. Between takes, Bruce drinks water. He caps the bottle, sets it down straight. He notices the circle forming around him without being asked. Space opens, cables are nudged aside. A light stand rolls back a foot. No announcement is made. The room organizes itself around an unspoken expectation. Bruce steps into the center of the cleared floor. He doesn't claim it, he occupies it. The stuntman takes a step forward, then stops. He rubs his palms together once, wipes them on his pants, heat beads on his forehead. He looks around at the crew, at the equipment, at the cameras, now resting idle. This was not how he expected the day to tilt. The comment felt harmless when he said it. Technical, professional. Now it feels personal. Bruce meets his eyes again, still calm, still open. No challenge in his posture. No invitation either. Just presence, the kind that doesn't push but doesn't move aside. A camera assistant hesitates, then quietly powers down the last rig. The sound clicks off. The room grows smaller, closer. 40 people share the same breath. Bruce says nothing. The silence does not ask permission. It takes it. He clears his throat once, as if to remind himself where he is. The stuntman steps into the open space. Not aggressively, not yet. His movements carry habit. Years of sets, rehearsals, marks taped to floors. He knows how to stand in front of people. He knows how to look certain without saying a word. This is not bravado, it's familiarity. Comfort earned through repetition. He adjusts his stance, feet shoulder-width apart, tests the floor with the ball of his foot. Concrete, solid, real, not a mat, not forgiving. Around them, the crew watches differently now. Not as spectators, as witnesses. The stuntman glances at Bruce's frame. Smaller, leaner, no tension in the shoulders, no performance in the posture. It doesn't match what he expects from someone about to prove something. That unsettles him more than anger would have. He speaks finally, not loud. I wasn't trying to disrespect you. Bruce nods. Once he doesn't interrupt. He doesn't reassure either. The nod simply acknowledges the words exist. The stuntman continues, feeling the room close in with every sentence. I've been doing this a long time. I've seen every trick there is. Undercrank, overcrank, cuts, angles. I've built fights that looked impossible. He stops, waits for a response. None comes. Bruce's silence doesn't dismiss the explanation. It absorbs it. The pause stretches just long enough to force the stuntman to hear his own voice echo back at him. He shifts his weight again, less certain now. Bruce finally speaks. Calm, measured. You believe what you've seen before. It isn't an accusation, it's an observation. The stuntman nods, relieved to have something to agree with. That's all I'm saying. Bruce steps to the side. Just one step. He gestures to the empty space between them. Open palm, not inviting, allowing. Then look, Bruce says. No flourish, no countdown, no instructions beyond that single word. The stuntman hesitates. This is the moment where experience usually asserts itself, where reputation does the work before action begins. He realizes, suddenly, that none of that matters here. Cameras are off. No edits will save him. Whatever happens will happen at human speed. He exhales. Long. Controlled. I won't hold back, he says, not as a threat, as a warning. Bruce inclines his head. Acceptance. Respect. The stuntman raises his hands. The posture is familiar. Trained, reliable. Muscle memory settles into place. He takes one more breath, eyes locked on Bruce's chest, then flicks them up to his face. Bruce doesn't move. The space between them feels charged now. 8 feet, 7, 6. The stuntman steps forward, and the room goes completely still. The first movement is small, a shift of weight, a shoulder turning, the kind of beginning that experienced fighters recognize instantly. The stuntman commits to it, not rushing, trusting timing. His hand comes forward in a clean line, direct, efficient. Bruce moves, not away, not backward, just enough. The strike passes where Bruce's head was a moment ago. No scramble, no flinch. Bruce's hand rises, not fast, not slow, simply there. It redirects the arm with the lightest contact. The motion ends before it announces itself. The stuntman feels it more than he sees it. Air moves. Bruce's other hand is already lifted. It stops short, so close that the stuntman can see the skin on Bruce's knuckles, the faint sheen of sweat, close enough to feel warmth. Nothing touches him. Nothing needs to. Bruce lowers his hand. The room does not breathe. The stuntman steps back once. Instinctive, not fear, recalibration. He shakes his head as if clearing water from his ears. That wasn't speed, not in the way he understands it. There was no rush, no blur. The timing arrived before his thought finished forming. He resets. This time he goes faster. A combination. The kind that works when people expect only one thing at a time. His body commits fully now. Momentum carries him forward. Bruce steps to the side. A half turn, a pivot that wastes nothing. The second strike cuts through empty space. Bruce's arm rises again, and again it stops. A breath from contact, perfectly aligned. The stuntman freezes without meaning to. His body obeys what his eyes cannot explain. Bruce withdraws his hand. No celebration, no acknowledgement. Silence swells. The stuntman swallows. The heat feels heavier now. He realizes the room has narrowed to the space between them. He nods once, more to himself than anyone else. One more. He faints. Bruce doesn't react. The real strike comes from the other side. Harder, closer. The stuntman feels committed in a way he wasn't before. Bruce dips, not low, just enough. The strike sails over him. Bruce's hand rises from below, stopping beneath the stuntman's chin, so close that movement would mean collision. Bruce holds it there, a still point inside motion. Time stretches. Then Bruce steps back. He lowers his arm. His posture remains open, non-threatening. He hasn't changed expression once. The stuntman stands where he is, hands down now. His breathing has changed, not heavy, uneven. He looks at Bruce as if seeing him for the first time. Around them, no one speaks. The moment has already passed, and nothing will return to how it was before. Bruce does not fill the space he's created. He steps back once more, giving distance without retreating. His hands rest at his sides again, loose, unguarded. The posture says the moment is over, even though no one else is ready to accept that. The stuntman remains still. His eyes track Bruce's hands, then his face, then the empty air where motion should have been. His body wants to reset, to square up again, but something stops him. Not fear, recognition. He exhales. This time, the breath is audible. "I didn't see it," he says quietly. Bruce tilts his head slightly, listening. No correction offered. "I felt it," the stuntman continues, "but I didn't see it coming." Bruce nods. Not in agreement, in acknowledgement. Around them, the crew begins to move again, slowly, as if testing whether motion is allowed. Someone picks up a cable. Someone else clears their throat. The sound of the fan feels louder now, intrusive. The director takes a step forward, then stops. He looks at Bruce, waiting for direction he doesn't feel entitled to give. Bruce turns to him first. "Ready when you are," Bruce says. No reference to what just happened. No claim, no explanation. The director blinks once, then nods. "Let's reset." Equipment rolls back into place. Lights are lifted. The circle dissolves, but the space it carved out lingers. People glance at the stuntman as they pass him. Not judgment, curiosity. He doesn't meet their eyes. Bruce returns to his mark. When the cameras power back on, Bruce moves again, but differently. Not slower, not faster, just clearer. Each strike arrives and stops with the same precision as before, but now everyone sees what they missed earlier. The absence of wasted motion, the stillness inside the speed. Between takes, the stuntman watches without speaking. His arms fold, then drop. He studies the timing, the way Bruce breathes between movements. He no longer looks for tricks. At one point, Bruce pauses mid-motion and waits. The camera holds. The pause stretches. The crew feels it now, the weight of control. Then Bruce completes the movement, smooth and final. When the take ends, no one calls it out right away. The stuntman nods to himself once more. Slower this time, settled. The silence that follows isn't tense anymore. It's irreversible. Bruce stands where the scene ends. Not frozen, not posed, simply present. The cameras stop rolling, but he doesn't break the rhythm he's holding. He lets the quiet land before he moves. One step back, another. He rolls his shoulders once, loosening what never looked tight to begin with. The stuntman approaches him slowly. Not to challenge, not to test, just to close the distance that no longer feels dangerous. He stops a few feet away, close enough to speak without raising his voice. "I thought speed was force," he says. The words come out measured, stripped of defense. "What you did, it wasn't force." Bruce listens. His eyes stay on the man's face, not searching for weakness, not offering correction. He gives the silence room to work. The stuntman continues. Quieter now. "You were already there before I finished deciding." Bruce nods once. "Decision is late," Bruce says. That's all. The line isn't a lesson. It isn't framed as wisdom. It's a fact, spoken the same way he might comment on the heat or the floor. He offers no follow-up, no explanation. The stuntman absorbs it. He looks down at his hands. flexes his fingers. They feel heavier than before. Not tired, aware. He looks back up, meeting Bruce's eyes fully this time. I shouldn't have said what I said, he admits. No apology performance, just truth. Bruce inclines his head. Acceptance without ceremony. You protect your craft, Bruce replies. So do I. That's it. No defense of reputation. No recounting of training. No justification. The balance between them shifts, not because someone won, but because something settled. Behind them, the set is alive again. Calls resume. Lights hum. But the tone has changed. People move with more care now. More attention. As if speed has been redefined in the room. The stuntman steps aside as Bruce returns to position. He watches closely. Not to analyze, not to doubt, to learn. Bruce takes his place. He breathes in, breathes out. Action. Bruce moves. And this time, everyone sees it. Not the speed, but the space around it. The calm that arrives first. The control that ends it. Nothing needs to be said. Something has already been understood. The shift doesn't announce itself. It spreads quietly. Between takes, people speak softer. Movements tighten. A camera assistant double-checks a setting he's already checked. A grip lifts a cable higher than necessary, careful not to break the line of sight. No one is instructed to behave differently. They just do. The stuntman remains near the edge of the set. He doesn't hover, he doesn't insert himself. He watches. Not Bruce's strikes, those are easy now. He watches the moments before them. The stillness, the way Bruce settles into the floor before moving. The pause that arrives before action, not after. At one point, Bruce finishes a take and simply stands there. The director waits, the crew waits. No one is sure why the scene feels unfinished. Bruce holds the position for a breath longer than expected. 2 breaths, the camera keeps rolling. Then Bruce relaxes. The director exhales. Cut. It wasn't scripted. But it works. Everyone feels it. Later, as equipment is adjusted, the stuntman steps closer again. Not all the way, just enough to speak without drawing attention. I always thought control came after speed, he says. Bruce doesn't turn right away. He's tying the cord of his shoe, fingers steady, not precise. He finishes first, then he looks up. Control comes first, he says. The stuntman nods slowly. He doesn't ask how. He doesn't ask why. He understands the answer wouldn't live in words anyway. Across the room, someone laughs, a normal laugh, unrelated. The sound feels out of place for a moment, then settles. Life returning but altered. Bruce returns to his mark again. The scene resumes. The fight choreography unfolds cleanly. Every stop before contact reads clearly now. Not because it's slower, but because everyone knows where to look. The stuntman watches the final take without blinking. When it's done, there's no applause, no release of tension through noise, just a quiet recognition passing through the room. People nod to each other. Work wraps without comment. As the crew begins to pack up, the stuntman lingers. He doesn't approach again. He doesn't need to. He's already carrying something with him. Bruce leaves the set without ceremony. No final glance back. No acknowledgement of the shift he caused. But it follows him anyway. Not loudly. Permanently. The set empties the way. Sets always do. Piece by piece. Lights cool. Tape peels from the floor. The smell of sweat fades into the walls. Conversations resume, but they orbit something unspoken. People carry cases past one another with a little more awareness. Eyes meet, then look away. No one names what happened. Naming would shrink it. The stuntman leaves later than most. He pauses at the doorway, looking back once. The floor is bare now. No circle, no space marked, just concrete. He stands there longer than necessary, then nods to no one in particular and steps out. Bruce doesn't linger. He changes quietly, folds his clothes the same way he folded the towel earlier, places them where they belong. When he walks out, it isn't with the weight of a moment behind him. It's with the steadiness of routine. Another day's work finished. Weeks later, the footage is cut. Editors slow it down, not to exaggerate, but to reveal. Frames are added so the eye can follow what the body already knows. On screen, Bruce looks fast. Off-screen, those who were there remember something else. The silence before movement. The space he never rushed through. The stuntman watches the finished scene in a small room with bad speakers and flickering light. He leans forward without realizing it. He knows where the cuts are. He knows the angles. Still, he watches differently now. He isn't looking for tricks. He's looking for the pauses. He never says much about that day. When he does, it's brief. I learned something. he'll say. If pressed, he shrugs. About timing. Years pass. The film moves through the world. Audiences argue about what they see. Speed, illusion, editing. The debate grows louder the further it gets from that room. The answer stays quiet. Somewhere, on other sets, the stuntman watches younger performers throw themselves into motion. He stops one of them once, not to criticize, just to say, wait. He doesn't explain why. The word hangs there, unfamiliar, powerful. And somewhere else, Bruce continues to move the way he always has. Calm, measured, uninterested in proving anything that can't be felt. The moment on that set doesn't end. It doesn't need to. It simply remains unclaimed, unresolved, like a space that once opened, then closed, leaving those who stood inside it forever aware of where it was.